What's up, everybody? Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Let's talk the 2022 Fresno State Bulldogs, who have a win total via DraftKings at 8.5 with the over shaded minus 125 price. If you like the under, you get a plus 105 return. Okay, so Fresno, they lost DeBoer. He went, the head coach. He went to Washington. Looked like he might take the star quarterback Jay Haener initially, and he did briefly. But when Jeff Tedford was hired, remember Jeff Tedford had a nice run at Fresno from 2017 to 19. Had resigned because of medical issues. Is good to go now, and so he's only been gone 2 years, and so Haener decided to come back, and that was huge, obviously. And I don't think bettors should look at it as like a typical, regime change where you've just got totally new faces, etc. It's not like that at all. He retained 3 assistants from DeBoer's staff. Remember, Tedford recruited a lot of these guys, and then he also hired 4 guys that either used to be on his staff or used to play there. So 4 guys coming back to Fresno as either former players or former assistants. So not your typical coaching change. I don't think that the coaching change should be looked upon as a major negative. All right, the Bulldogs last year, 10-3 straight up, 8-5 against the spread. And, 2 of their losses were just, big time heartbreakers. In fact, they were -7 in turnover margin in a 3-point loss at Hawaii. At Hawaii, and they also lost by 7 at Oregon as a 20.5 point underdog, but they out-yarded Oregon by 30. They were just -2 in turnover margin, and then the 3-point loss at Hawaii, they out-yarded Hawaii by 157. But they were -5 in turnover margin. So nothing fluky about Fresno's 10-3 straight up record. They were only +2 in turnover margin, so it wasn't like they were, just immensely winning the turnover battle like Hawaii did to them. They were +15-31 in net yards. They've got 8 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. Phil Steele's national unit rankings rank their quarterback position number 13 nationally, their wide receivers number 7 nationally, their O-line number 63 nationally, their linebackers number 55 nationally, and their secondary number 26 nationally. So for those position groups that aren't ranked in the top 60-ish nationally, which does include running back, they're actually ranked 3rd at running back in the Mountain West. This is also Phil Steele's unit rankings. Now special teams, it could be an issue. They're 8th in the Mountain West, and their D-line is 5th in the Mountain West. So there's some weaknesses there, D-line and special teams. They work the portal really well. According to 24/7 Sports, they rank number 34 nationally in the transfer who they brought in out of the portal. 9 guys, that is. 7 of the Power 5 persuasion. I think I said 8 starters back on offense and 7 on defense. And we're talking about a defense that was vastly improved. In the year prior, they had given up 30 points per game. Last year, only 20.5 points per game. Offensively, they averaged 33.4 points per game last year. So I mentioned their 2 narrow defeats. They did have a lopsided loss to Boise State, but they won at UCLA as an 11-point underdog. They beat a really good Nevada team. They won by 10 at San Diego State, which was ranked number 21 in the nation at the time. They won by 31 points at San Jose State. They had a lot of wins by double-digit margins, and I think I had that in my article. By the way, you can go to MajorWager.com as I'm endorsing over 8.5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their 10 wins were actually by 14 Not just by, oh, I'm sorry, no, my bad, by double digits. And they had another win by 8 points. So a little more on their personnel. So not only do we have Haener back, but we've also got Jalen Cropper, his favorite target, back. Let me backtrack. Haener's stats last year: 67.1 completion percentage, 4,096 passing yards, 33-9 TDI&T ratio, and 3 rushing TDs. For his career, 47-14 TDI&T ratio. Back to Jalen Cropper, second team All Mountain West receiver last year. 85 receptions, 899 yards, 11 touchdowns. Also had 76 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 attempts. His second best receiver, junior Josh Kelly, 52 receptions, 778 yards, 3 touchdowns last year. He is a preseason second team All Mountain West pick in Phil Steele's magazine, whereas Cropper's preseason first team All Mountain West in Phil Steele's magazine. They also have wide receiver Zane Pope back. He had 25 grabs last year, 471 yards. That's 18.8 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns. Also Eric Brooks, 17 grabs, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they also get a transfer from California, Nico Remigio, who has started 16 of 33 games, has 903 career receiving yards. So they're loaded at receiver. They also have a tight end in Raymond Powells, who is a preseason fourth-team All-Mountain West pick in Phil Steele's mag. 17 catches, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns last year. The O-line brings back 3 starters, and they've also got an offensive guard, Jacob Isaiah. I hope I got that pronounced right. Probably not. He played 14 games for Sparty in 2020 and 21, so the Michigan State transfer coming in. Ronnie Rivers, who they lost, and he goes down as the 3rd all-time leader in career rushing yards at Fresno, behind only his dad, Ron, number 2, and Robbie Rouse, who is the uno in Fresno career rushing history. But Jordan Mims he's ready for a bigger load. In Athlon's magazine, he's preseason first team All Mountain West as an all-purpose player. He's second team All Mountain West preseason in Phil Steele's mag. He rushed for 710 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5.6 yards per carry last year. And he also had 25 catches, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, and also is in the kick return as far as special teams. Again, the defense returned safety Evan Williams, first team All Mountain West last season, 92 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 passes broken up, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 forced fumble. Big time player. Senior defensive end David Perales, second team All Mountain West last year, 13.5 TFLs, team high 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 QB hurries. He is a playmaker. And let's remember, 2018, Tedford took over a 1-10 team. All he did was go 10-4 straight up, 10-2-2 against the spread in 2017. 2018, he went 12-2 straight up, 10-4 against the spread. Won the Mountain West Championship game at Boise on the Smurf turf in the cold weather. Let's look at the schedule. I have them beating Cal Poly in week 1 and Oregon State in week 2. I have them losing at USC in week 3. Then they get an open date, and then they are going to win at UConn. Now that sets up a bad spot October 8th at Boise. You got to fly all the way east to UConn, come home, and then you got to fly into altitude. Although Fresno has some altitude as well, but into Boise State. I've got them losing at Boise. But then I think they'll be favored the rest of the way. I have them winning and going 10-2. The wins, San Jose State at home, at New Mexico, San Diego State at home, which might be their next toughest game, and they get it at home. Hawaii at home, at UNLV. At Nevada would normally be tricky. Nevada lost its whole coaching staff. I believe they only returned 5 total starters, either 2 on offense, 3 on D, or vice versa. And then probably the next toughest game outside of San Diego State, Wyoming, albeit at home. So I like Fresno to go 10-2. Let's go over the 8.5. Jake Haener, stay healthy for his brother. Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. There's your 2022 Fresno State Bulldogs preview and prediction on the season win total. Play it over.